One that caught my eye was an African tribe called the Lemba, in South Africa. Now peep this. Wanyanyekavu laughing. I'm peeping. Nariglisser was so engulfed in his words, and Wanyanyekavu saw his glow and was excited as Nariglisser continued. We already spoke about this. I just wanted to confirm what you said. Did you know that the end of the slave trade was not the end of slavery? Before Wanyanyekavu could answer, Nariglisser continued, but Wanyanyekavu was proud of how Nariglisser was reacting and let him continue. Now, Britain has been considered the great liberator of enslaved African people after becoming the first to abolish the slave trade in 1807 and pressuring other countries to follow suit. Truth be told, Britain was the biggest exporter of Africans during the 18th century. For 200 years, Portugal had a monopoly on the export of Africans for enslavement. They estimate that during the 450 years of the transatlantic slave trade, Portugal transported over 4.5 million African captives, about 40% of the total. During the 18th century, however, when the slave trade accounted for transporting 6 million Africans, Britain was the worst transgressor responsible for the enslavement of almost 2.5 million people. Britain would continue the practice of slavery for another 26 years after abolishing the slave trade, which proved too costly thanks to slave rebellions. The United States also abolished the slave trade in 1807, but not slavery. Portugal followed suit in 1869, with its former colony Brazil abolishing it in 1888. The Mideast slave trade consisted of about 18.5 million deaths, and the toll of the Atlantic slave trade at 16 million. That amounts to 34.5 million deaths of one group of people. That does not include the deaths from the practice of slavery across the diaspora, which ended in Brazil around 1888, nor does it account for the centuries of colonialism across the continent. A scholar and historian named Dr. John Henrik Clarke placed the toll of African lives lost during the slave trade or the African Holocaust at about 150 million. Nariglisser repeated himself in anger. 150 million. I said all of that to say this: many slaves that were captured and spread all over the world were from places that the Jewish community moved to after both exiles, and I believe, if not all, most of them were the chosen people of Sabaoth. The 12 tribes of Israel. The original Jews. Wanyanyekavu shook his head. Well said. Nariglisser having a funny look on his face as he flipped through his tablet. I can't find the direct quote and not even sure if he said it or not, but I found articles and some documentaries that said that Adolf Hitler knew black Americans were truly the Jews of Israel. One article has Hitler saying, because the white Jews know the Negroes are the natural children of Israel. And to keep America's secret, the Jews would blackmail America. The Jews would extort America. Their world-dominant plan wouldn't work if the Negroes knew who they were. The white citizens of America will be terrified to know that they've been mistreating and discriminating and lynching the children of Israel all this time. They feared God will destroy them, as He destroyed Egypt, for doing the same thing. So, the Illuminati's elite keeps this a secret at all costs. But I found this in the Torah. Hold on. Placing his tablet between his legs and flipping through the notes, in the back of his Torah. Here it is. The book is The Nazis, World War II by Robert Edwin Herstein, pointing with his finger, as they guided across the tablet, reading. Hitler said, America has stolen the Jews of God. His Jewry. The Negroes. They are the true Hebrews. What a foolish move, and a direct challenge to God. And they plan on moving these false white Jews into the state of Israel. America is desperate in its attempt to win this war using atomic bombs on Japan. America will destroy the entire world in its attempt to conquer it. Now, follow me to the Torah. Turn with me to Revelations 3 verse 9. Behold, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan, who says that they are Jews and are not. Nariglisser took a deep breath. I've read about proud moments, sad moments in our history. Reading about people like Dr. Samuel Counts, Granville Taylor Woods, Elizabeth Jennings, Dr. Chancellor Williams, Teresa Burroughs, Simone Biles, the Zoot Suit Riots, Central Park 5, Philip Emeagwali, Arkansas's Elaine Massacre, and the Clinton 12. Wanyanyekova smiled at Nariglisser. What is a king without his kingdom? Just a man. But know this within your flesh, you are royalty, and because you are the child of Sabaoth, the ultimate and supreme king, you possess royalty in the spirit. You are twice blessed. Nariglisser smiled as a tear fell from his eyes. Wanyanyekova said before walking away, You shall be my counselor, to all who have been knocked down, and can't seem to get up. Study all cultures and traditions of men to serve, as a beacon of light to those who seek the light in Sabaoth, but can't see the light within themselves. Just then, as he was speaking, the people that left to find their families started returning. Everyone returned and spoke to Wanyanyekova. When we had no hope, you brought it to us. When we thought there was no such thing as love, you showed it to us. It appears that you might need our help. You have been selfless. Why should we be selfish? We will go and help you as you have helped us. Even with the power of Sabaoth, we are great, but as one, we are greater. Once all is well, we will find our loved ones. You have taught us what sense it makes for a finger, a toe, or even a hand to fight a war and leave the rest of the body behind. We will fight as one body. Who knows, some of our family might be where you are going. Wanyanyekova had tears in his eyes. Sabaoth is. Nariglisser interrupted, seeing he was happy, and said, Sabaoth is able. Wanyanyekova said, Yes, he is, but I was going to say, Sabaoth is awesome.